Man,
Everybody good?
uh,
My coach, whenever you're ready. Good.
man, what a game! What a game! For me, the game was lost in the first 10 minutes, just with how we came out defensively. Anytime you give up 46 points in both halves, it's hard to win a game. But the guys they competed, they battled. The building was amazing. The building was amazing. This is what you always want this place to be, and especially with it being spring break, and still the people to show up and come out. That made this a special year. I'm more upset because we couldn't send our seniors out the right way, and they've meant so much to me and so much to me in building this program and everything they've given me this year. Um, like I told them when we took the picture at half court, I said I'm hanging this in my office, and this will be the only picture. I don't have any pictures in my office, so I'm just excited, and then, just ready to turn the page. This one's over with. The season's over with. It didn't impact our seeding or where we were. You don't want to lose, but we got a lot of good film that we can use from this, and hopefully we get the opportunity to play them again on Thursday.
Coach, can we talk about the fight that you guys had,
Yeah.
especially late in that game? Obviously, fighting tooth and nail to come back.
Yep.
Trey hits two really big threes.
Yep.
Shelton with that tip in.
Yep.
What was the messages going on in that huddle every time you guys met? Of like, hey, we're still in this.
No, at halftime it was just about guarding and having some pride. I didn't think we had great pride, and then they showed great pride. And then we got to the point where our physicality and our ability to get in the paint, get downhill, really started to show, and we got fouled. We got fouled a bunch. I mean, whenever you can shoot 21 free throws in the second half, it gives you um, a chance. It gives you a chance, but they also shoot 18. Whenever a team is even points in the paint with us, that's kind of where our separator is. Even if a team makes 12, 14, 15 threes, we got to dominate the paint because that's where we kind of make up for not making as many threes.
Trey echoed a similar message of that the game was lost in the first half,
Yep.
the start rather than the end.
Yep.
Just what do you think kind of happened out the gate that caused that early deficit?
I just thought, it's a lot of things that could go into it. You can always say senior day. I just thought at the start of the game, their desperation and urgency was a little bit better. Was a little bit better, and there's a lot of things that can go into that. And then eventually we worked our way into the game, and also, Malik getting two fouls early kind of changes things, and you got to adjust and adapt. And then, Conwell in the first half, I think he had 18. It's hard. It's hard. They play good. They play good.
Coach, when you think about the senior class and their importance, how would you describe their impact tonight in basketball?
Huge, huge. Especially for me and for the start, of my era of Miami basketball. Everything Coach L has done, and why the job was so appealing was because it wasn't a dumpster fire. He left it in good standing. And for them and for me, this first year, for them to come in and win 24 games, finish third in the ACC, it sets us up to continue to recruit at a high level and show people how competitive and what we're about here. And it really starts with those three because they were the first three that kind of committed, and we kind of built it around them.
So what do you tell recruits what their career could look like going based on that senior
You can be other places and you can come here and develop and get better. Even with Trey, Malik, and Ernest, they've been different places, but these are career years for them. I think it goes to putting them in the right spots, our style of play, and also what we do here and our kind of our culture of how we work and how we develop. And even though you've been somewhere else and maybe you didn't have this in your game, you can come here and work on it and then continue your career.
Coach, when you talk about the first half, the pride or whatever the message you just said.
Yep.
What's the message, or what's your first off, just your thoughts on the way they played, they came out, and then your message to the team, because moving forward, everything's essentially on the line.
That was it. I told him after the game, if the game is lost in the first 10 minutes, and from now on, those 10 minutes cost us in this game, the next game, your season's over. So to understand that's the level of desperation, that's the level of urgency from here on out that you have to play with and you have to have. And I'm not taking anything away from Louisville. I thought they were really good today. I thought they were really good. Conwell and everybody. I thought they played. Big kid Khalifa can really shoot. He comes in and hit a 50-footer almost. So they played well. And I just thought we waited too late to get going.
What do you think of the possessions down the stretch, going back and forth?
They were huge. They were huge. We battled. We executed, and then the last play, Kid Conwell just did a good job of taking Trey's right hand away. We were trying to get him right, and he jumped it, and Trey stumbled, and then the ball threw it to Malik, and the ball went out of bounds. So he just had a great individual defensive possession. The one I thought I was damn near at half court trying to call timeout, but the ref just blew by me. But that would be the only thing I want back would be trying to get that timeout just to settle us before Woolley hits the three.
Got time for a couple more. The play design, was it just to get a shot for Trey, or was it actually?
No, it's just to get Trey downhill to his right hand, get in the paint, see if we can get fouled, try to flood the side, to just open up the gap, and the kid jumped it. Did a good job.
Yeah, Jay, you kind of talked about just how strong this team looked from Louisville today. Was wondering kind of as you were scouting, how does this team look, when it has a healthy Brown?
Yeah.
He obviously makes a lot of things go for them.
Yep.
And how do you kind of look at that matchup differently, maybe next week if he's healthy and he's able to play?
I mean, you add another kid who's averaging 20 points or 18 points, you're adding a lottery pick. So it changes their whole dynamic a little bit. So you have to adjust and adapt to that. But still, the team is well built. They're built offensively. They're built with skill. They're built with shooting. I think it really was on display tonight. We different styles, and styles make fights. So in the first half, their style kind of got the best, and in the second half and towards the end of the game, we started to show what we're about. And so it's just about earlier. We got to do a better job of just containing the ball and controlling the glass in the first half. And if we did that, you don't go into halftime down 9 and you go maybe down 4 or 5, and it's a different game.
Michelle, you wrap us up.
Can I just ask, what was your message, what was kind of I know the mood in the locker room must have been pretty low or whatever. But
Yeah.
What was your message to them at the end of this game?
Mine was just thanking them for the season. We've never talked about the season. We haven't talked about the wins. We haven't talked about the standing. I thought this was the best opportunity to do that. Losing sucks, but I also wanted to give them some grace as well, because to win 24 games with 12 new people, to finish in the top 3 of the ACC, to get a double bye with a league that's getting 8, 9, 10, 9 teams in the tournament, hopefully, is impressive. And I just thanked them for that. And I told them, everything we've done is over with now. The regular season is done. Now we're into conference, we're into March, and it's win or go home. That's the biggest thing. And, I haven't really talked about any awards or anything, but I would hate to see if we finish third and we don't have somebody on every team. I think we deserve to have Malik on first team. Trey should be somewhere first team, second team. Ernest should either be defensive player of the year or all defense. True should be sixth man of the year, all defense. Sheldon should be on the all freshman team. So part of winning and part of finishing third is you have to give those guys their credit when it's due. And I think they deserve that.
Thanks, Coach. Thank you, Coach. Coach Kelsey will be in next.
Mason, you good? All right, we'll get started. Whoever wants to go first.
Fellas, obviously, the loss is a loss, but the way that you guys were able to battle back in this game, especially late in the second half, what was especially for you, Trey, what was some of the senior leadership that you guys were instilling in that huddle of we can make this a one-possession game, we can make this a win?
It's a game of runs. Our urgency wasn't as high as it was in the second half and the first half. So, just coming out and trying to have that sense of urgency to understand that we need to get this win. And that's what you saw.
For Trey, when people talk about your time in Miami, like years from now, what do you hope that they remember about you the most as a player?
A winner. That's pretty much it.
Sheldon, offensively, just what was Louisville doing that day, especially in the first half, kind of was challenging for your team?
They made a lot of threes. We knew they're coming in that they shoot the ball at a high level, and I think sometimes defensively we weren't as disciplined as we wanted to be. But second half came, we got a lot more stops, guarded the three-point line a lot better, but we just didn't show up in the first half defensively at a high level.
What specifically in the second half did you guys tweak that you think kind of,
I think we just upped our energy up a little bit. We knew that we had to punch back because they punched us first in that first half, so we had to bounce back, and that's just all we really had to do.
Shelton, when you made that tip in and the building went crazy, you guys took your first lead there. What were you thinking and what were you feeling at that exact moment when the ball went through?
I think we were trying to get a timeout. We didn't get it off, but just going down the court, we tried to get a stop at the best level we could, but they made a tough shot. Couldn't ask for much more from True to contest, and it just came down to the wire.
And I want to ask one follow-up on the free throw shooting. Has been something that wasn't a team strength this year, but tonight you guys really were very accurate from line. You just talked about how important that was and the ability to come back.
We've worked on it every day. Malik made 14 free throws. So we get to the line a lot. We know we got to knock him down, and that's what it comes down to.
Tre, can you just, I guess, tell us what you're feeling right now?
I mean, I'm probably the worst sore loser in the world, so that's settling in right now. But I mean, just learning from it, I feel like is the biggest thing. Can't do nothing about it now.
What kind of happened there on that last possession? You know, when you did turn the ball over, what kind of caused you to make that, to make that apparent pass?
The play was to clear out one side, and he stuck his foot out, and I tripped over it a little bit. I just tried to get it to Malik so I didn't fall to the ground with it, and he wasn't able to catch it.
You guys now get to the ACC tournament. You get that double bye still. What do you guys hope to, maybe not let this one carry on into the league and just kind of reset? You guys are starting fresh now this week.
I mean, like Coach said, we had a great season. I mean, double-digit wins, single-digit losses, but it doesn't mean anything now. We got to go in the tournament, clear our heads, and get better at the stuff we need to get better at, because now it's losing go home.
What's the biggest thing that you guys are trying to key in on as we get ready to go out to Charlotte next week?
Defense.
I think just starting games the right way with a higher sense of urgency.
Tre, specifically defense tonight, just what you kind of see both halves, just what they were able to do.
In the first half, they made a lot of threes. That was the difference maker. We didn't lose that game at the end of the game. We lost that game in the first 10 minutes.
Any particular reason why they were getting threes? What were you kind of noticing?
I mean, I feel like everybody saw it. They were making some tough shots.
Anyone else? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.